Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Waterboys College Football Pregame Show. Morning, Stress.
Morning, buddy.
I'm so excited for this weekend that I overslept. Does it look like I overslept?
No, you can't tell at all.
My eyes always look puffy, so.
Yeah, no, you can't tell at all. You look like you've had 3 cups of coffee and have watched 3.5 highlight reels from the Red River rivalry in the last 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what happened is I was not planning on the UCF or USF North Texas game to be nearly that exciting.
63 points. Byron Brown needs to be in some Heisman conversations right now.
100%.
He is one of the best college football players out there right now, and I will die on that hill. He has been so fun to watch this season. He has now beaten a ranked Boise State team, a ranked Florida team, and then went in and beat an undefeated North Texas team who was also receiving AP votes. I think they received the 26th most AP votes this last week. So put some respect on my, when Ohio State's not playing, my backup team, the USF Bulls, baby. Let's go.
I mean, it was a ton of fun. I looked at my wife. And she goes, if I hadn't just had surgery, you'd have lugged me down to Denton, Texas to watch this game. I go, 100% I would have.
Oh, dude, that would have been the best time.
3 hours away, 100%. All right, well, like I said, I overslept a little bit, so we got a lot of stuff we got to get to this morning. We want to give a big shout out to Better. They are the official sponsor of the Waterboys College Football Pregame Show. If you haven't yet, download Better, the first real micro play app. So instead of waiting for the whole game, you can lock in a play on every drive, every pitch, every moment. It's super simple, no messy menu. Just swipe, make your pick, and you're in. If you're watching right now, download Better and use code WATCH to get $10 instantly and your first deposit matched up to $200 in bonus. That's right, $200 in bonus, up to $200 in bonus on your first deposit. That's Better. Live it, play it, better it. Shout out to Better. All right, let's get to our first storyline of the morning, Strez. Can Illinois upset number 1 Ohio State?
No.
Well, that makes the show a lot more boring.
I mean, there is a chance that it could happen, right? Like, Illinois comes out and plays their best football game in their history.
Yeah.
Because they're playing against the number 1 scoring defense that has only given up a total of 25 points this entire season. They're averaging 5 points a game right now. A top 10 rush defense, a top 10 passing defense. And then, oh, by the way, Illinois' defense, which is ranked currently 109th in the nation in total defense, has to stop the best college football player in the country. Also, Carnell Tate is better than every other team's wide receiver 1. Julian Sain has been getting better every single day. And so they would have to play perfect on offense, perfect on defense, and then Ohio State would have to make so many uncharacteristic mistakes. Like Julian Sain, quarterback who's completing 80% of his throws. He's the only quarterback in the country with that kind of completion percentage.
He'd have to have like an Arch Manning day.
He would have to turn the ball over at an insane rate. Bo Jackson, the freshman running back, would have to fumble several times. Like, it could happen, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I think one thing that does help Illinois in this game is that it is in Champaign. So, I mean, there is that. This is the first time these two teams have played in quite a while, actually. For those of you who don't know, this is the battle for the Illabuck. It's a wooden turtle. It was actually a real turtle for like the first 8 years of the rivalry, which is kind of crazy. But now it's like
elementary school, like it's my week to take home the class pet type thing, or like you won this football game. Here's this turtle you have to take care of for a year.
Yeah. I don't know if they carved like the game score in the turtle shell, because if that's the case, I mean, this was probably 100 years ago, but
there's a chance.
There's a chance that they were probably doing that, but now it's just a giant wooden turtle. So it's a little bit of a rivalry game. So in some of the rivalry games, that we'll talk more about, because the Red River shootouts today as well. Sometimes a rivalry game, you can just throw everything out and say records don't matter, rankings don't matter, nothing matters. Just go out and win the football game. So, there is a chance.
And as far as this show goes, we have been Brent Bielema fans since the beginning of the season. He is a football guy's football guy. I bet in real life, Ryan Day probably looks forward to media day, and Bielema is one of the guys. It's like
I can see that.
I mean, guys like that, they got a friend group, and you're like, oh, Daddy's gonna be there. I don't really like him. Bielema, though, like, we get along. He's a fun guy. I bet that he's one of the guys everybody likes. But real quick, up until September 20th, where they just got blown out by Indiana and broke all of our hearts as far as the Waterboys go, because we were looking for Bielema to just make Cignetti look like the college football coach we believe that he is.
Yeah.
They have that game, take that one out. They beat South Carolina in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl to cap off the year last year.
Which was an excellent coaching matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
I really thought that Shane Beamer and Brett Bielema were going to fight each other at the 50-yard line watching that game.
I thought Beamer was going to get spiked on his head by Brett Bielema. I was like, dang, that guy outweighed you by 200 pounds.
Yeah. But I don't know. Shane's got a little of that
scrapper.
Crazy in him.
Yeah, he's a scrapper.
He's got a little crazy.
But obviously, they beat Duke 45-19. Duke actually plays football. If anybody didn't know this, they've actually looked decently okay. They lost to Illinois, or they lost to Indiana real bad. But then the next week, they beat USC by 2.
Yeah, that's a good win.
Really good win for that program. They beat Purdue 43-27. Yes, it's Purdue. I get it, but it's kind of a rivalry game. Those schools have a lot of history. They're, and then now they play Ohio State. I'm not saying that they can win this game. I don't think that they have any chance. But if you can keep it close and look good, didn't Washington Rutgers just play today?
Yeah, they played. Yeah, they played last night, and DeMond Williams Jr. put up like 600 yards of total offense by himself.
So, the good thing for Illinois is if you could just get past Ohio State and look respectable, you're going to play in a really pretty solid bowl game. You're going to have another really good year. And you're going to have some really fun stuff to recruit to, because you don't really play anybody past Ohio State and Washington the rest of the year. Like Wisconsin, You should be able to beat them pretty handily.
Maryland will be tough. They've got a solid offense,
especially if that's at Maryland, because that place can get a little rowdy. It's a fun place. But I'm answering the same way you are. I don't think there's any chance that they can win, but I am looking for Ohio State today to really look dominant against a pretty good football team, an AP top 25 football team. No weird things, no guys making uncharacteristic mistakes. Just play, football the way you're supposed to play football. Because Ohio State next week has got Wisconsin, and then they go on a little bit of a stretch here. They got Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Michigan, and UCLA
might be good. I don't know.
I don't know if they're on this win one for coach thing.
That new Heisel, that I like it. I don't know if it can sustain, but you get a good play caller in there calling good plays for a quarterback like Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah,
but as soon as Nico is on the field again against Ohio State, he's going to have some PTSD.
Yeah, and
we broke his helmet twice last time we played him.
And the only reason I even bring it up is because Ohio State's not going to have a bunch of chances left on their schedule to have amazing wins. And when I look at some of the SEC teams, I mean, this is the meat of the schedule from this week forward. The SEC teams just beat up on each other. It's all top 25 matchups. So Ohio State just looked really dominant today.
They're favored by 15.5, I believe.
That's probably not enough, but I don't want to be disrespectful to Coach Bielema.
It's 15.5. It opened at 16.5. So Yeah, I anticipate them to go out and look good today. I think, this is going to be the first road test for Julian Sand where Ryan Day and Brian Hartline have opened up the playbook for him and said, hey, go toss the pill around. Go throw it to your guys. 4-17, see how many yards you can get them. So I think this will be a good outing for them. And, in a way, you're not the home team, kind of a different atmosphere too. It's be a good chance for him to do some more growing as well at quarterback.
Yeah, he's not the only freshman quarterback that's getting another road test. In the middle of the season, we're going to talk about Michigan's road test this week. But before we do that, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe to us right here on the Waterboys YouTube channel or X. If you're watching us there, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Got any comments, any questions, any hot takes, drop them, and we will make sure to get to them ASAP. All right. I don't normally on our college football show wear my team's gear, but there are exceptions to rules because it is the Red River rivalry week. I have not been this hyped for this game in about 5 years, and this is why. If John Matier jogs out on the field today as the starter, this could be his Heisman moment.
1,000%.
How do you not give this guy the Heisman if he has hand surgery 2.5 weeks ago, goes into the Red River game at not 100% and beats Texas and looks good? That's like a movie script Hollywood would write.
1,000%. And 2 days ago, on Thursday, Nick Bromberg at Yahoo Sports, shout out Nick Bromberg, Oklahoma quarterback John Matier moves from questionable to probable on injury report. So it's looking like he's probably going to go out and play today, which is just wild.
And listen, ask me if I made some phone calls yesterday.
Oh, I know exactly who you called too.
Oh, yeah. 2 guys wouldn't answer the phone. And then they immediately text me and said, I know what you're wanting to call me about.
I can't tell you.
But one guy did answer the phone. And I just said, just don't break my heart. He goes, I'm not breaking your heart. He said they were going to have a really tough time to not be able to list him as probable. I said, but does that mean that he's going to play? He said that no one knows. He goes, the only people that know are Brent Venables, John Matier, and God.
Yeah, I said that this week. I said that there are 4 guys who need to know whether or not he's going to play this week. And it's Brent Venables, offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle, John Matier, and John Matier's backup, Michael Hawkins Jr. Those are the 4 guys. Those are the only 4 people that need to know if John Matier is going today or not. No one else needs to know.
And it's actually not a terrible thing that Texas now has to scheme against 2 guys.
Yeah.
Because Michael Hawkins Jr. is a very run heavy guy. But he can move. Like he, in the words of Unger from The Longest Yard, he's fast.
He's fast. He's fast. He's so fast he makes fast guys look not fast.
But he's not Matier. But Matier's biggest asset to the Oklahoma offense is his ability to scramble and make plays happen that are not there. And Arbuckle, for everyone that thinks, Oklahoma's offense, it's just like it's like Kansas City. They just let him do whatever. And Ben Arbuckle is an incredibly regimented person, and so are his quarterbacks. And it is organized chaos, even though it doesn't look like it, and that is by design. It is for the defense to think that it is chaotic. But what I will say is Oklahoma's got to get figured out today. Jaden Ott, who we brought over from the West Coast, and paid some nice money to, he's got to have a good game.
Yeah, last week he had 11 carries for 49 yards, averaged 4.5 a clip.
Which is better.
Yeah, but that was against Kent State.
Yeah, but this is a guy that people were talking about, top 10 running back in the country when he came in.
Yeah.
This was like oh my gosh, they got Jaden Knott and John Mateer. Oh, watch out, Oklahoma's offense. And he has not performed well. And no one really has. The running game outside of John Mateer has not really been there. And Oklahoma today, if they can establish any sort of running game, I will be very excited. The other side of it, obviously the other side of the ball, I just don't know. I don't know if this defense can play better, but this defense seems like a defense that if you juice them up with an extra little bit of something because they're playing in the Red River game, I expect Oklahoma's defense to come out like a bat out of hell.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they're the number 2 defense in the country. In total defense. They're giving up 203.5 yards a game. Over their last 3 games, they've given up 175. And last week, they only gave up 135. So that's just ridiculous. So I anticipate, and we talked about it this week on our Red River shootout kind of preview. So by the way, if you haven't watched that yet, after we end this live here, go watch that video. It's like 20 minutes long. We talked about, I think this Oklahoma defense, like we talked about, we don't think that it matters who the quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners is going to be today, because we think that this Oklahoma defense is going to play so well and Arch Manning has been so underwhelming that you combine those two things together, Oklahoma could win this game by scoring probably 14 points. I mean, week 1, Julian Sayin, I think, threw 16 passes.
Yeah.
I would have to go back and look at the stats from that game, but he didn't throw the ball a lot. Granted, Texas punted the ball a lot. Ohio State was deep in their own, side of the field several times to start the game, so they had to figure out how to get the ball out of the end zone so that they could punt it and try to flip the field, position. But I think, with the way that Oklahoma's defense plays and the reliance on Arch Manning and their running backs' legs, I think that Oklahoma's defense is going to be able to make life really difficult on that Texas offense, because it's a Texas offense that's just kind of been like anemic this year for some reason. Like they haven't been able to really figure it out. I mean, they figured it out against Sam Houston State, which who cares? But then last week they went up against Florida, and I mean, Florida has, a really solid defense. I'm not seeing where they're ranked right here. 46 in total defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they went out and shut Texas down last week. So, I think Oklahoma absolutely has a chance to make this game really difficult on the Longhorns.
Yeah, and as far as what is this game? Which is this game bigger for which team? It's kind of one of the questions that was being asked naturally. Who needs this game more? If Oklahoma somehow loses this game, it would absolutely be pandemonium in the SEC conference.
Yeah.
Because now you got another one of your top 10 teams that drops a game. And Oklahoma, for the second year in a row, just gets royally screwed by the schedule makers in the SEC. This is the rest of Oklahoma's schedule for the end of the year. They've got South Carolina, number 4 Ole Miss, number 12 Tennessee, number 8 Alabama, number 14 Missouri, number 11 LSU. Either way, if you win or lose this game, this is not in the Big 12. Sometimes this was like the high watermark of your schedule.
Yeah.
This is where, more than once, this was whoever wins this game is going to be in the national championship conversation. That's what this game has meant for a lot of years.
Yeah.
This game is not the biggest game on Oklahoma's schedule, not by a long shot. But if they lose this game, the SEC is going to be looking at what is going on in our conference, who is going to come out okay. But if Texas loses this game, it may not be the last loss that they have on their season.
Yeah, if they're out if they lose. They don't get in the college football playoff.
No. And they've got
after being preseason number 1.
Yeah, this smells so much like Florida State 2 years ago. It's not even funny. Where they lost to Georgia Tech in Dublin the first game of the year.
Yeah, that was, or was that last year?
It might have been last year.
It was recent.
Feels like should be week 12.
Dude, I know. Like, I feel like there should be snow outside right now. I was thinking, like, is it December yet? We've got like 78 days till Christmas, though, so that's good.
This is crazy. But so next week they've got Kentucky win. Mississippi State scores points.
They figured out how to play football again.
Yeah, Jeff Lebby has got them playing. Then they got to play Diego Pavia, who I know. If I know Diego Pavia, that boy's going to start running his mouth as soon as this game's over, talking about the Texas game, because that's the way he is. He's got a little bit of Baker in him. Like, he's got to get something to get him up.
Yeah, and after that loss last week, that team's going to be on a mission for the rest of the year.
So, and they're at number 20. Then they got to play number 10, Georgia.
At Georgia.
You're going to get dog thumped. Like, it's not going to be close. There's just, I don't see any way. Arkansas.
Classic Southwestern Conference rivalry.
That's an old rivalry that Arkansas fans have been licking their chops for 20 years.
Yep.
And they love that game is back on the schedule.
And I don't recall Bobby Petrino having a shot at the Texas Longhorns when he was the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I don't think so.
So now he gets a shot because he is the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks again. So it could be a very different Razorback team that we see in, week 11?
Yeah, they could be. He seems, whatever he's got, Petrino gets the most out of Arkansas and always has.
Yep.
He'd still be there if it wasn't for off the field issues. Like, Arkansas would have never let that guy go.
Keep that man away from motorcycles and Elkins. Good Lord.
And then they cap off the year at number 5, Texas A&M on November 28th. I don't see you talk about a fan base that can't wait to thump somebody. Texas A&M loves hating Texas.
Big time.
So if Texas loses today, what's that put them at?
They'd be 3-3.
They're 3-3. I see them
with no wins over a Power 4 conference.
No, and I could probably right now comfortably, without stretching it, say they're going to lose at least 2.
Yeah, that seems right. I would probably guarantee a loss at Georgia and a loss home against A&M.
Yeah,
I could almost guarantee those 2 right now.
Yeah.
But then you also throw that Mississippi State game in there. You throw the Vanderbilt game in there. You throw the Arkansas game in there. Arkansas is probably the worst opponent left on their schedule.
This is a really rough year for them.
It really is. And then you start to have that conversation. Steve Sarkisian, the James Franklin of the SEC, can't win the games he's supposed to. Really crapped it down his leg. Thought has a good talent at quarterback. What happened at Texas? Like, what really happened? I go into this game thinking about OU. I would say that it's not their offense that's the sole reason why they're number 5 or number 6 in the country. Like, I think you can credit their 5-0 start to the season probably 65-70% to their defense.
Yep.
And then the rest of it would go to their offense. So that's why I think, like, going into this game, it doesn't really matter who OU try out at quarterback, because I think Texas has a lot of issues that they haven't gotten figured out this season.
And I was trying to explain, talking to a couple people yesterday outside of the program, And one guy made a comment to me. He said, I don't think people understand how much better for college football it is that Oklahoma is playing defensive football again. Like, I love the Lincoln Riley era. It was a ton of fun. Like, it was a lot of fun. But Bob Stoops was a defensive guy. That's what he liked to hang his hat on. He would bring in offensive coordinators that could do a lot of the innovative stuff and could score a lot of points. But for a long time, you looked at Oklahoma and you were like, they are a punch you in the mouth defensive football team. They play defense fast. They have, they had tons of back-to-back All-Americans all over the field for years and years and years, especially linebacker pass rushers. That was like their calling card. I mean, this is the house that Brian Bosworth built. I mean, that's just Oklahoma football.
Yeah.
And when I was chatting with somebody inside the program, I said, what has practice been like? And they said it's very reminiscent of like 2004 to 2008, where there's the offense and there's the defense. And when those ones go against each other, it is a high energy practice. They're like pushing on each other, fights in practice. And you know what I mean by fights? You played football. It's a lot of like pushing each other and talking trash and letting them know. And that's the stuff that we were missing with Lincoln Riley. We were missing the toughness, the edge on defense. And if you take out Baker, you were really kind of missing a little bit of edge all over the field.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the same teeth that, Oklahoma had before. And so, for Oklahoma, if you can pull this game out today and you can win by a decent margin with a quarterback that's not 100%, you're the eyes of the nation now, as far as college football goes, are like, hold on a second. And now you got a chance to really get yourself into the national conversation because you have the toughest schedule in the country for the rest of the year. You don't not play a ranked team all year.
Yeah.
So it could be really interesting.
Yeah. So relatively related. My Broncos are in London this weekend taking on the New York Jets.
There you go.
And two of the best defensive players on the Denver Broncos is former OU Sooner Nick Bonito, currently leads the NFL in sacks with 7.
That guy's built different.
He is awesome. Also Marvin Mims, former OU star, and Jahdae Barron, first round draft pick for the Broncos this year, former Texas Longhorn.
Yep.
So I was just doing the math in my head. I'm like, what time is it in London? I think that they're going to go find a place to watch this game together. They have to. It's always funny when these kinds of games happen because, these guys that are in the league now, they love their college teams. Like they still wear their college gear all the time, and you wonder. So I'm just thinking about like my NFL team because I know that there's Texas and OU players on that team. Like, what are they doing? I know that they've got a game early tomorrow morning, but it'll be like 7:00 there, I think, around the time
there's an English pub somewhere that's not ready for the size of individuals that are going to walk in there today to go. We're trying to watch this game right here.
Yeah, surely they can get it in their hotel. I would rather them not leave.
Yeah, please.
Their hotels tonight. But yeah, so that's always fun. Yeah, I'm excited for. I think this is going to be a good Red rivalry game, a Red River rivalry. Say that 10 times fast. I think it's going to be an exciting football game.
Shout out to Papa Strez. Quoting American Razorbacks media guy, it does my heart good to see Texas football, Texas basketball, and Texas baseball suck. It does. It does make me happy. It does make me happy.
That's one thing. That's one thing about me. Growing up in Arkansas, I was raised to hate Texas. I always will. So obviously, week 1 I had a lot of already prepared.
Hey, Marvin Mims gets them twice this year because he played at Oklahoma and then transferred to Arkansas, so he gets them twice this year. He gets to hate him twice this year. He's the one guy in the NFL. It's like I get to hate him twice this year because I transferred to a school that plays him. So, all right. Before we talk about Michigan, we want to shout out Better. If you haven't yet, download Better, the first real microplay app and the official sponsor of the Waterboys College Football Pregame Show. Download Better and use code WASH. Get $10 instantly and your first deposit matched up to $200 in bonus. Just swipe, make your pick, and you're in. If you're watching and you know the next pass is going to fall incomplete, you can actually put a play on it right there in real time. Live it, play it, better it. Shout out to Better. All right, Michigan got a big road test this week. This is not the same Michigan. This is not the same Bryce Underwood that played in Norman. I want to make that very clear. Bryce Underwood has made strides over the season. He's looked better as the season goes. He's actually looked like a freshman first-year starter should look. Very similar to Julian Sand. Now, he's not developed nearly as quickly. I think part of that is head coaching and offensive coordinator in Columbus has done a better job. I think Sherrone Moore, he may not be there in another year.
He's not the guy for Michigan. I think my dad would agree with that one too.
And I like Sherrone Moore. I think he's a good guy. He looks a little confused on the sidelines sometimes to me, like the moment's a little too big for him. And that doesn't mean that it is. It doesn't mean that he actually is confused, that he is overwhelmed. Some guys don't know how to like not show it all over their face. Sometimes Sherrone Moore has this look a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey.
He's a football guy. I'll give him that, you know, but I do agree with what you're saying.
But USC really, really needs this game badly. Like, they need this game. Michigan, while 4-1, has looked better than USC, especially on defense. I really thought after Lincoln Riley made it to the college football playoff for several years in a row and realized that the problem was the defense, and then he let Alex Grinch get on the plane with him when he left in the middle of the night. He didn't, but that's the legend story we tell ourselves around Oklahoma. He left in the middle of the night to go out to USC, and it didn't work any better with Alex Grinch. I really thought that Lincoln Riley had learned his lesson about, hey, man, we got to be able to play defense. No, they haven't. They don't play defense. They don't play good defense. They let Georgia Southern score 20. They let Missouri State score 13. Like, they let Michigan State score 31. They don't play great defense. But because of their loss to Illinois, they really need this game badly, because they don't have enough left on their schedule to be able to have a bunch of quality wins.
Notre Dame, is that it? Really?
Yeah, because you're going to get dog thumped by Oregon. Nebraska is not going to be ranked probably by the time you play them.
They might be. They're 4-1 right now.
Yeah, but was I looking at Nebraska's schedule? What was the game that I thought?
That is a couple weeks from now, though.
They might be ranked when they play them, but then they've got Penn State and Iowa, so who knows with Nebraska. But USC really needs to win this game, and Michigan, I don't know if they need it as badly because they've got a lot more wins left on their schedule.
Yeah, I think Michigan needs it more performance-wise than scoreboard-wise.
Yeah.
I think I think it's been Bryce Underwood hasn't been what everybody has thought he was going to be coming out. I mean, he's thrown 3 touchdowns and 1 interception through 5 games. That's it. And really, the rest of their offense has come by way of like one big run from Justice Haynes every single week. Outside of his like one big like 45+ yard touchdown run, he's running at like maybe 3.7 a carry, which is like not bad, but not the best. And so like this one, I think Michigan really needs their team to go out and like have a good performance, whether they win or not. I think they're more concerned about like how they look on offense because I've got a lot of questions about Michigan's offense. Right now, if I was lining up some teams next to each other in the Big Ten, I would take Washington's offense over Michigan's offense right now. I would take Indiana's offense over Michigan. I would take Illinois' offense over Michigan. The difference maker for Michigan is they have a really good defense.
Yes.
That's been their difference maker basically since the beginning of time. It was Michigan that's been their calling card. It's been their offensive line and their defense. And I think that their defense has really been what's been able to win them some games. But they're going against probably the best quarterback they've played yet this season in Jaden Maiyava.
Yeah.
And he's been looking good over the last couple of weeks too. So this is going to be an interesting football game. This is two teams that have a rivalry with Notre Dame but don't have a rivalry really with each other. That kind of matchup. So it's kind of a weird game, rivalry adjacent. So yeah, I think you're right. Michigan's got after this game, their last game is the game.
Yep.
Their biggest test is the game. And I just know that game is going to look very different this year. Not necessarily scoreboard wise, but like on the field. I think Ohio State, like Ryan Day, is going to have the team in a completely different spot this year for that football game. So, I think Michigan doesn't necessarily need this one, but they probably do. And USC also, because what we've been saying, I've been saying really this whole season, 3 losses, you're out.
Yeah.
And so if Lincoln Riley and USC wants to still be in the conversation, wants to still have a chance to make it into the college football playoff, they need to lose only 2 games. And because they've got Oregon left, because they've got Notre Dame left, they lose this one, that'd be their second loss. And then you could probably chalk one of those 2 up as an L as well. I mean, Penn State less likely now as time goes on. I don't know what's going on in Happy Valley, but yeah, USC needs this one. And it's a chance for USC and Lincoln Riley to say, yeah, we belong in the Big Ten. Because they haven't really had a chance to like really say that yet. Oregon has made themselves known. They went undefeated last season, the regular season, Big Ten champions. As soon as they came to the conference, they made it known. But USC really hasn't made that jump yet. So I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, and Lincoln Riley, for all of his, fun that, I like to poke at him and everything, it's very weird that we don't talk about Lincoln Riley like we talked about Lincoln Riley 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, this was a guy that was on every short list of every open NFL job. His name would come up. At one point when the Cowboys, everyone thought they need to get rid of McCarthy. Everyone was like, put Lincoln Riley in Dallas. I mean, are you kidding me with Dak and CD and he's got all these weapons? I mean,
that would have been crazy.
It would have been nuts. And, then other NFL jobs would come up and his name would come, at the top of the list. Why somebody needs to get Lincoln Riley or whatever. He was the hottest commodity in coaching. It was Lincoln Riley, unbelievable at Oklahoma. Then he's going out to USC and this is going to be great. And Caleb Williams has a great year at USC. They don't win a few games that they should have, but
their defense was like historically bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, and then it just stopped. All that national conversation just quit. He was not being looked at as this offensive guru. This is the next guy. This is, this is Nick Saban in the making type of conversations that people were having. It just all stopped. He is now just another guy that coaches in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah. And you kind of wonder like where that QB developer went, cause like we've made jokes about it all season long. Last Sunday, the list of starting quarterbacks that played quarterback for Lincoln Riley in the NFL was 7.
6.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler, and who was the Dylan Gabriel.
That's wild.
Yeah. So the fact that those guys were all starting in the NFL last week tells you that Lincoln Riley knows what he's doing with quarterbacks and with the offense. But the question has always been, like, why can't he get the right guy to coach the defense, to call the defense? Why can't he get the right athletes on the defense? You know, where's the recruiting lapse there? You know, because it's just like he knows Oklahoma. He knows Texas. Why can't he recruit those defensive guys to come out to L.A.? L.A.?
Dude.
Why can't you get the guys to come out of L.A., dude? So it's just like it's a weird – I don't really understand what's going on. But USC has looked better than they have looked in the last – since Lincoln Riley got there. This is the best that they've looked in the Lincoln Riley era for the Trojans. And I think this would be a marquee win for them if they did win this game. Because, I mean, Michigan number 15 in the country right now? This would be a huge win for USC.
Well, and I will tell, and I've told people this. I told people this around Norman when Lincoln Riley left. The two hardest jobs to get a fan base activated and juiced up is USC and Miami, because those are the two jobs in the country that you're putting yourself in the college town that is dominated by pro sports.
Yeah, Miami plays in the same stadium as the Dolphins.
It is hard, and people say that doesn't make sense. But give me a for instance here. Give me a second. Let me give you a for instance. It's Wednesday of the week. Mom and dad, 2 kids. You got to decide what you're doing that weekend. You want to go see some football. Are you going to go watch USC in the Coliseum? Packed in there, crowded like college football stadiums are? Or are you going to go to SoFi?
Yeah.
Are you going to go watch Miami? Or are you going to wait and just watch the Dolphins on Sunday? Because you can only make one choice. Listen, this is not 1990 economy. No one's buying college football tickets on Friday, NFL tickets on Sunday. You can only afford a set of tickets. And when you have fan bases that have to make that choice of, are we going to go watch college football or are we going to go watch NFL? I am a college football nut. I love college football. But every time I go down to Dallas to watch the Cowboys play with my wife, I sit in that stadium and I go, boy, it's a lot more comfortable than Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's hard to get fan bases activated. When Pete Carroll was at USC, that was really an NFL team. He coached like an NFL team. It had the swagger of an NFL team. They branded themselves an NFL team. It is fancy in there, and it's air conditioning. It's the good food,
and it's not even near as new as a stadium like SoFi.
No. Yeah,
that's what's crazy.
I mean, it's hard for college football coaches to get fan bases excited.
Yeah, Miami's done a good job of that this year.
Yes,
USC could. I think if USC wins this football game, that fan base, because Chargers have kind of skid a little bit their last couple of weeks. Rams are playing really good football, but Puka Nacua, he's getting fed so much right now. You got some questions there in Southern California. So, and right now I'm looking. You can get into this game if you're watching this one from Southern California. You can get in. Tickets are as low as $63 right now.
Yeah, you're not getting into SoFi tomorrow or
for that price.
Hey, no way,
not a chance.
And when Pete Carroll had it working at USC, those guys were treated like the NFL guys. Like Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart were on the red carpet. It's like things were happening there. And I understand that Lincoln Riley doesn't bring the same swagger that a Pete Carroll brings. I get it. But if you can make it work in Southern California, there is a fan base there. You just have to work for it a little bit harder. There's a lot of other things to do in LA on a Saturday evening.
A lot of things to do on a Saturday evening in LA.
That's hard. Like, people are like, well, how come? They're like, listen, there ain't a whole lot to do in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on a Saturday. That's it. You just go and watch Alabama.
And I think that that's the benefit that the SEC and a lot of like the Midwestern Big Ten teams have.
Only thing in town.
Not a lot going on.
No.
You know, but when you're in these major cities like Miami, like LA, like what's New York? They don't have football in New York
Dallas,
City, so it's not even
hard.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with what's going on in those major cities, you know. But no, you're absolutely right. Like that Pete Carroll era, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, like that was cream of the crop in LA at that point. And they had, the Phillip Rivers Chargers they were good.
But Reggie Bush was dating Kim Kardashian on red carpets, and you were like, "This is a hot ticket in town. I got to go to a USC game."
Back-to-back Heisman winners. You know, like they were an upper echelon. So yeah, if USC, I think USC gets back to that kind of level if they can go out and win this game. But it's gonna be a tough test. But I think if there's gonna be a quarterback that's gonna be able to take care of business against that Michigan defense, I think Jade Mayava fits the bill.
Yep, I agree. Sleeper huge game today. Not a whole lot of people talking about it because obviously the Red River's going to dominate. It's like the big game up north. Those two games just dominate national conversation. Whoever's playing that day, everyone's like, yeah, they're playing, but the Red River. Number 7, Indiana. Number 3, Oregon. When I looked at the schedule coming into this season, I didn't have this game marked because I thought what Indiana did last year was an outlier.
Like a flash in the pan.
Yeah, I just thought he can't do this. He brought a bunch of players from JMU with him. They had more players from the transfer portal than any school in America. It was like they can't do it. Indiana is proving everyone wrong week in, week out. On the flip side of that, Oregon, like I said last week, I still just do not think is getting the love they should nationally. I still think that they're not getting the respect they should nationally. And Indiana has got to go into Eugene. That place is going to be loud.
Yeah. Alton's a tough stadium to play in. I don't think people realize when you think about Oregon, you're like, oh, their uniforms, oh, the Pacific Northwest foliage. Alton Stadium is not a tough out for literally anyone. Ohio State went there last year. Best team in the country went there and lost that game because how loud it was and the way that you got behind the clock at the very end of the game, like that, those types of things matter. So, yeah, this is not going to be a tough out for Indiana.
Yeah, it's, Oregon's got Indiana, and then they got USC left on the schedule.
I got that high flying powered offense though at Iowa.
They actually do play. They actually do throw the ball. They have figured out
they broke 30 points this year.
Like I was like, they throw the ball downfield at Iowa. What is happening?
And Iowa, they had Indiana on the ropes last week.
They did, and that's kind of what when I was looking at this game. That's kind of what I looked at. What was Iowa able to do that was giving Indiana problems? And when I looked at the highlights, all I saw was Oregon can do all of that just better.
Yeah.
Like they play that, they can play that. Oregon, to me, what I like about them, why I called them in a video my favorite team, my number 1 team of the year, is they can play 2 different styles of offense. If they need to run it down your throat and eat time up and clock manage it, make it drives take a long time, they can do it. Or they can air it out and just crush your defense by giving you a 30 and 40 yard gain that just sucks all the wind out of your sails, and they can speed that game up and go into like a 4-minute offense where they're scoring a little bit quicker. And then they've got a third gear where they can score in a 2-minute offense really, really well. They've got a really fun way that they play football. It's not traditionally, Oregon, we always looked at when we were in the Big 12, we always looked at, Oregon plays the same way we do. Like,
they just have 17 more uniform combinations.
They can really run the ball really, really well. I don't see how Indiana keeps this game close. But I keep saying that every week, and Indiana keeps winning football games.
Yeah, and looking, I've got the defensive rankings up right here. And Oregon has the number 5 total defense, giving up 236.8 yards a game. Indiana, number 6 total defense, giving up 257 yards per game. So, this will be a good test for, because Penn State, their defense isn't quite as good as Indiana's. So this is going to be probably the first true test for that Oregon offense and what Dante Moore is doing at quarterback for the Ducks right now. I think Oregon's offense is as advertised. And I think that we're going to really get a prove it day for the Ducks today. And I think it would be fair to say whoever wins this game is going to the Big Ten championship.
Yes.
The winner of this football game, because neither of these teams have anybody left after this week. Oregon's got at Rutgers, Wisconsin at home, at Iowa, Minnesota at home, USC at home, at Washington. That Oregon-Washington game is going to be fun to watch. That's 2 really good offenses playing against each other. And that's the last game of the season. But then you look at who Indiana's got the rest of this season, moving forward. They've got Michigan State at home next week. Michigan State's playing some good football this year. I was actually just talking to my dad about Michigan State last night, because there's one team that we both like to not like at the same time. It's the Spartans. But then they've got UCLA at home, at Maryland, at Penn State. I don't think Indiana should struggle in that football game one bit. And then Wisconsin at home, and then at Purdue. So neither of these 2 teams play Michigan or Ohio State this year.
Yeah, right.
So when you don't have either of those 2 teams on your schedule, you're probably set for the postseason, especially now that we're in this expanded 12-team playoff. So, yeah, I really do think that whoever wins this football game is going to the Big Ten championship and will be playing the Ohio State Buckeyes for the Big Ten championship trophy in Indianapolis at the end of the season. I really do.
And, we got a new segment that we're going to do here in a minute, and this is going to come up. But, the Big Ten has had a couple of teams really let the entire conference down.
Yeah, thanks a lot, James Franklin.
When you looked at Oregon and Indiana's schedule at the beginning of the year, you were like, well, okay, the bottom end of the Big Ten might be soft, but we got Penn State. Now Penn State is the bottom of the Big Ten. So
yeah. Literally unranked.
If Oregon, and I don't think this changes Oregon at all. I don't think that if they don't just blow Indiana out that this. But both Oregon and Indiana, if you look at the rest of your schedule, you are scrapping for good wins left on your schedule. You really need to have a good performance. Both teams need to have a good performance no matter what. I think whoever establishes the run early is probably going to have the upper hand on it. Indiana does have a really good running game. Can they, establish that early? Whoever establishes it in the trenches is going to have a little bit easier day. I don't know what I'm going to pick this game as far as score wise. I have no clue.
Yeah. It's Oregon's only getting 7.5. That line hasn't moved since it opened, which says, Indiana should be able to keep it close. This should be a close football game.
Yep.
Over under is 52.5. So, they're expecting like a 27-24 type game.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome,
Yep. All right, before we get to picking games, I got a brand new segment, Hot Takes on X. I really wish we could just go back to calling it Twitter because I hate this name.
I still call it Twitter. I think they calling it X is stupid.
It is dumb. We're going to pull one wild take from Twitter every single Saturday and break it down. Today's wild take comes to us from El Presidente of Barstool. For the old heads still living in the past thinking the SEC is a better conference than the Big Ten, I just put together the 8 best matchups between the conferences. I honestly think Big Ten goes 8-0. Maybe Vandy beats Iowa, maybe. And if you're really generous, maybe Georgia beats Illinois, but I doubt it. Ohio State beats Ole Miss by 20. Oregon beats A&M by 20. Indiana beats Oklahoma by 7. Michigan beats Alabama for 3rd time in a row. Illinois beats Georgia by 3. Penn State beats LSU in a battle of disappointing. USC beats Tennessee by 10. Iowa beats Vandy by 3. Big Ten 8 wins. SEC 0 wins. Game, set, match. Big Ten. He might be the biggest moron in college football. Like, I get that part of this. I get, Portnoy, that like part of this is you guys have this deal with Fox and like you're doing big noon kickoff. Like, I get a little bit of this. I also think that deep down he actually believes this.
I don't think Portnoy has ever believed anything that he's ever said. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think he just says stuff to say stuff.
Like, so who would you, let's take Ohio State's schedule. All right, let's take Ohio State's schedule for
probably one of the tougher schedules in the Big Ten right now.
That's why I'm grabbing theirs. So they're playing one of the quote unquote tougher schedules left in the Big Ten. All right, then let's take Oklahoma's. Okay, Portnoy. So Ohio State has left on their schedule after today's game with Illinois. They've got Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Michigan.
I mean, those are all 7 top 25 teams in my opinion. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Rutgers, Purdue, UCLA, they like are really just swinging big this season. Oklahoma left on their schedule. South Carolina hadn't played great. Lenore Sellers hasn't looked fantastic.
When he turns it on,
that guy's fun to watch, though.
He's incredible.
Like, he'll drag 7 guys into the end zone with him.
It's unreal.
He's so strong, it's stupid. But they've got number 4 Ole Miss, number 12 Tennessee, number 8 Alabama, number 14 Missouri, number 11 LSU. There's nobody in the Big Ten that if you said we'll give you $5 million, you got to swap schedules with Oklahoma, that they go, yeah. Nobody in Big Ten would do that.
Nobody would want to, but I do think a couple teams would handle it just fine.
Yeah,
but only a couple. I think, the thing that I think that Portnoy and I think a lot of Big Ten fans are getting tired of is, oh, well, the middle of the SEC is better than the middle of the Big Ten. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
The middle of the conference doesn't get to do anything. How good is the top of the conference? Are you winning national championships? Because the last 2 years, it's been the Big Ten. 2 different Big Ten teams. And I think we looked at kind of like that success level of the SEC versus the Big Ten over the last, since the turn of the not century, I guess it was century, but eon, since 2000. Really, it's been a Nick Saban success thing.
Yeah.
Sprinkle in an Urban Meyer, who also won one at Ohio State, by the way. So Urban Meyer, just coaching, wins national championships, right? Won the one in Florida, won the one in, Ohio State. But outside of Nick, if you take Nick Saban out of the picture, SEC doesn't even come close to winning as many championships as they have over the last 20 years. And then, with the recent advent of Kirby Smart, like the come up of Kirby Smart and that Georgia Bulldogs team, I mean, they won back-to-back 2020, 2021. But then ever since it's been, or was it 21, 2022? I can't remember. But ever since then, it's been, dominant from the Big Ten at the very top. Like last year, Oregon was number 1 in the country. Ohio State ended up winning the national championship and beat the dog snot out of SEC teams in the postseason. And I kind of expect the same thing to happen this year, because I think the top end of the Big Ten is so much better than the top end of the SEC right now. But you get into the middle of the conference, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care what Northwestern can do. And I think that's the difference between SEC fans and Big Ten fans. We don't care. I don't care what the rest of the Big Ten does. I would love it if Michigan went out and lost every game that they played every single season. You will never find me rooting for that team just because they wear the Big Ten logo on their chest.
Right.
And the beginning of this season, I saw a shirt from one of the bigger, companies that sells like college football shirt, it was literally an SEC shirt that had the logo of every school in the SEC on it.
Yeah.
If you buy and wear that shirt, you are a bumbling dork, and I do not respect you because that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, what are we going on here? I posted a TikTok on Thursday night because it's been 3 straight weeks of NFC teams playing on Thursday Night Football, and I'm like, what's going on here? Why do we have so many NFC matchups on Thursday Night Football? Somebody went and commented on that video, and they're like, because the NFC is without a doubt the best conference. I'm like, we're doing this in the NFL now? Are you kidding me? What is happening? Like the conference, like glazing, the conference like loyalty that people are starting to develop over like their team loyalty is gross. And I think that is probably the biggest difference between Big Ten fans and SEC fans, is because SEC fans, they want the SEC to go, 9-0 in postseason play in bowl games. Big Ten, we don't care. Like, it's always nice to say, oh, well, Big Ten team won the national championship. I guess that answers your questions. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't care. I don't care. If it's not Ohio State, I don't care. And I think every Big Ten school would say that. But yes, SEC, you've got people that show up in like SEC branded merch and SEC hats, and they chant SEC when they're at a bowl game for an SEC team that they don't even support. But I think like what Dave Portnoy was saying, he obviously, he gets paid for his interactions and impressions on Twitter, and this kind of tweet will get you lots of interaction and impressions.
Yeah.
But whether or not he actually believes that, I don't know. But I mean, the top 4 of the Big Ten, I would probably take over the top 3 of the SEC right now. But at the end of the day, like, I don't care. All I care is if Ohio State can take care of business.
Well, and I don't disagree with some of what you're saying. I think where the SEC has the leg up is just the entertainment value of the conference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get juiced up for like a Northwestern Purdue game.
I mean, that's Kentucky Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to care. But if Mississippi State is playing A&M, I'm like, especially this year, I go, that game, I'm going to watch that game. That game's fun. But the thing that people who maybe are in the Midwest, and just full disclosure, I'm not like, I'm a Chicago guy. All my sports teams are from Chicago. My dad's from Peoria, Illinois. Like, I'm a Midwestern kid. I have a super weird accent because I have an Oklahoma mother and a dad from Illinois, and I have a super weird accent. I'm a Midwestern guy. I like Midwestern college basketball more than I like any other spot in the entire country. I will watch as much Big Ten basketball as I can get a hold of because I love basketball the way it's played in that part of the country. There ain't nothing else that goes on in the South.
No.
They don't have a whole lot of NFL teams. There's one baseball team that everybody in the South roots for. Really,
everybody's Braves fans.
Everybody's Braves fan. Everybody I knew growing up was a Braves fan. I didn't know in my head, there's only 2 teams that existed. You had the Braves on TBS Superstation and the Cubs on WGN. You could watch every game of those teams.
My high school baseball coach was a massive Braves fan, and our signs were TBS. Take, bunt, steal. And the indicator, if you touched his hat, 1 was take. Indicator 1, 2, bunt. Indicator 1, 2, 3, steal. That was it, because he was such a Braves fan.
I mean, so there's not a whole lot that goes on in the South.
How do I remember that? I don't even.
They just grounded into your brain.
We had different signs though. When I was on base, like I didn't look at our third base coach. I looked in the dugout, and he would have his arms crossed because he was a boxer in Oklahoma, and he would go. And that I would steal because I was our fastest player, but yeah.
But even if you're a Big Ten school, if you want skill position guys, you want quarterbacks, you want wide receivers, you're either going to Texas or you're going down south. You're going to Florida. Like a lot of your big skill position guys are coming out of some of those spots. A lot of your best defensive players are coming out of places like Louisiana. So there's part of that. High school football is massive in the South.
Yeah.
And with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, which this really does kind of piss me off, I'm going to be honest. Now, all of a sudden, the accolades of Oklahoma and Texas, the SEC just gets to like add to their thing. They're like, we have this many national championships. And I'm like, no, we didn't win any of those national championships in the SEC. We didn't win any of those in the SEC. Those were in the Big 8 and the Big 12. We didn't win any of those.
Right. But SEC is now claiming all of those, which is crazy.
Like, hey, this is how many national championships we have in the conference.
And then they added 8 more on a random Tuesday in August.
Auburn was like, and we have 9. So there you go. But it's people that are like, why is it like that? Listen, there ain't a whole lot else that goes on in the South.
No.
They don't have anything else. Whereas in the Midwest, on Sundays, that's some of the best NFL team fan bases in the Midwest. And some of them, they show up and have shown up, and their teams have sucked for decades.
Yeah. I'm thinking like pro football in the South. You've got the Falcons, and Titans. You've got the Titans in Nashville. You got the Saints in New Orleans, but like New Orleans is like a separate piece of the South.
There's the South, and then there's New Orleans.
And same thing with Miami, right? Like Florida's not really the South, but the Panhandle counts as the South. But then you've got like the Panthers, but it's like so widespread.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And like you said, there's one baseball team because you have to hit Houston before you get a baseball team west of Atlanta.
Right.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that is definitely a huge part of it is just like, what else is there to do? What else is there to root for?
Yeah. And
there's not a lot of big cities either. So there's not like entertainment. I mean, you live in Mississippi, you go to Tupelo and go gambling for a weekend if you want. But I mean, outside of that, it's like, what are you going to do? Go to the Walmart museum?
Yeah. I mean, it's football has been just baked into the South.
Oh yeah. I mean, you ain't got to tell me twice. I grew up in a city where the town shut down on Fridays so that everybody could go to the game. Like everybody went to, the local restaurants before the game, and then everybody left and went to the high school football game together, and it's that way in pretty much every city in the South. Every town that has, a decent football program. I mean, even the towns that had bad football programs, like those towns, they still show up and show out for their teams.
Yeah,
because there's not a lot to do.
Look at it when when the Thunder came to Oklahoma City, and everybody's like, "This is the loudest place to play in the NBA." I mean, it was like bonkers. They nicknamed it Loud City. Well, it's because it's just a bunch of college football fans you crammed into a basketball arena. They don't know how any other way to cheer.
They just yell, "Yeah!"
Yeah, it's like Oklahoma fans and Oklahoma State fans, two super rowdy fan bases, two super rowdy stadiums, and then they put them in an NBA arena. That is college football in this part of the country. So I understand what Portnoy is saying. There's no way he went down, put down Illinois beats Georgia and thought that's true. There's no way.
I mean, I would love to watch that game actually, which that actually might be a postseason matchup this year, depending on what happens with the rest of their seasons.
Well, and I think maybe for me, what throws me off when people say that is I start thinking of the biggest brands in college football.
Georgia is one of them. Illinois is not.
Right.
Yeah.
Like USC is a big brand. They kind of, I guess, gets claimed them now. But
Tennessee, though, is...
Yeah, Tennessee's a huge brand in college football. Like,
they're crazy down there.
Yeah. I mean, I could make a case that... I mean, I would hate to say that. I can make a case that LSU is a bigger brand in college football than Penn State is. I could make that case based off the last 15 years. And LSU is a bigger brand in college football than Penn State is.
Yeah, I think they're comparable, but I would probably give the edge to LSU.
Just because of the player part.
Yeah, the name recognition piece from like the pro players that go in and dominate, I think is a part of what aids that.
I mean, if you take the wideout away from Penn State, I don't know really what, as a brand, Penn State has.
Stick City and losing big games.
That's it. But they got this wideout thing that kind of gives them a little extra buzz.
Yeah, but no one believes in it anymore.
No. And
Oregon wasn't affected at all.
No.
2 weeks ago.
And they do a little bit of what Oklahoma does. Oklahoma, for those that don't know, we do a striped stadium every year. It's something that they did off and on, but where I can remember it starting was like we're going to do this every season was when Notre Dame came to Norman. And that was a big deal, stripe the stadium. But now, after that, they always try to pick a game where it's a little bit warmer because it's harder to get fans to stripe the stadium when they got to have like winter coats on.
Yeah. Hey, you got to get coats that are that color.
Yeah, you're like, where am I going to find a white jacket? So they try to
white jacket that you're okay with getting a bunch of nacho cheese all over.
So, then we start striping the stadium against teams that it doesn't matter. And Penn State kind of has to do a little bit of the same. You have to have a whiteout game every year. Well, does it get us anything extra? No, but it puts us in the national conversation for that game because it's the whiteout. And your dad's right. This is what Penn State's known for: linebackers.
Yeah, linebackers. Not like coverage linebackers. I'm going to rip your face off linebackers.
Smash mouth linebackers. And I love linebackers. Trust me. The list of All-American linebackers Oklahoma has had is impressive. I love linebackers. They're not sexy like quarterbacks and wide receivers. And that's what LSU has that makes them sexy. Is you start looking at like guys in the NFL that play either quarterback or wide receiver at LSU, and you're like, wow, they got dudes. All right, before we're going to start picking games here. We got about 30 minutes left of the show because Aaron showed up late this morning. One more time before we get you to picking games. If you haven't yet, download Better. It's the first real microplay app and the official sponsor of the Waterboys College Football Pregame Show here every Saturday. Super simple, no messy venues. Just swipe, make your pick, and you're in. In fact, you can right now, if you download Better and use code WASH, you get $10 instantly, and your first deposit is matched up to $200. That's right, matched up to $200. So don't just play it, live it, play it, better it. The Waterboys College Football Show official sponsor. All right, let's pick some games here. Number 1, Ohio State, and number 17, Illinois. The only thing that I think keeps this game interesting to me, there's no way. I want so bad for Illinois to be able, for Brett Bielema's sake. Here's the thing that Brett Bielema's got. They're never getting rid of this guy. He will be here as long as he wants to be at Illinois.
Yeah.
This is not an Arkansas situation. This is
didn't work out at Wisconsin, didn't work out at Arkansas, but hey, Illinois is a good place. Champaign, Illinois.
Perfect.
Yep.
That great college town, super underrated fan base. They have the same color scheme as the Bears, which is a fantastic choice to make because now people, if you watch Illinois games, there's a lot of Bears gear in there because people are like, same color, I'll just wear this. I don't see any way that they can keep this close. I'm picking Ohio State, but I want to see Ohio State because look at the rest of the stuff on their schedule. There's not a lot of other games that you can really put the pedal down and drop the hammer and say we are the best team in the country, except for the last game of the year against Michigan. If Ohio State comes out here and wins this game by 3 touchdowns, there's no way that the first poll that comes out for the college football playoff, they're not the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah,
because now you can say they have played every game that is before them and have won them all handily.
Yeah. And the way their defenses looked in all of them.
Yeah, and Illinois, listen, they play disciplined football.
They've got a good offense.
They have a good offense. Their offensive line has really been solid this year, which is really hard to do at a school like Illinois. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Most schools like that, you're doing a lot of gadget stuff on your schemes because you just can't. It's hard to recruit a place like Illinois in the trenches. It's just hard.
Yeah.
And he's had really solid offensive line play. And your dad brings up a good point. Brett has had this game circled since the schedule came out. I agree. This is a good game for him. And, obviously with how bad that they looked against Indiana, you really need something if you're Illinois to say, hey, listen, we still belong in the conversation of one of the best teams in the Big Ten. We just had a game that our guys didn't get up for. We played well below our potential. So I'm taking Ohio State in this one by 14.
Yeah. Good pick. Let me get my great pick. No, I think Illinois didn't look good against Indiana, and Ohio State has a better defense and a better offense than Indiana. Illinois has the 109th defense in the country. Ohio State has the number 3 total offense total defense in the country. Number 1 scoring off defense in the country. This isn't going to be close. I'm taking Ohio State to win this one 48-13. And this is going to be the game where people maybe Julian Sands should be in the Heisman conversation.
Yeah.
He's doing the same stuff that all the other quarterbacks in the Heisman conversation are doing. He just looks like he listens to Maroon 5 when he walks into the stadium.
Yep.
And I think this is going to be a chance for him to really come out and stake a claim in here. But I would not put it past Brett Bielema to do his, experienced head coach stuff, slow the game down somehow, some way, pull out every trick play that they have. But I don't think that that's going to matter because Ohio State has speed at literally every level on this defense. Caden Curry coming off the edge gives me Bosa vibes. Pick which Bosa you want to talk about. Just gives Bosa vibes. And then you've got, Arvell Reese is shooting up draft boards at inside linebacker this year, and Sonny Styles both. Sonny Styles was a safety converted to a linebacker, so obviously he can run. And then you've got Caleb Downs. He's like a freaking cyborg. Like nothing gets past him. Like he knows exactly what's going to happen before it's going to happen because he's so smart. I don't think Illinois has a chance in this game. I'm taking Ohio State to win 48-13.
Don't be shocked if on draft day the Dallas Cowboys move some stuff around to take a linebacker out of Ohio State.
You wouldn't go wrong either way. I'm banking on the Denver Broncos to do the same thing because that's like our only hole on that defense right now is inside linebacker.
Yeah.
Specifically one. I'm looking at you, Alex Singleton. Get your crap together.
Number 8, Alabama at number 14, Missouri. Listen, Missouri is not the Missouri of a couple of years ago.
Como's going crazy right now.
Like they play really good football on both sides of the ball. They have a Chase Daniels type feel to them at quarterback. Like they have got something working in Missouri, and Missouri is a weird school in the SEC because they feel like they're so far away from all the other schools. They're really not, but it's kind of like when the Big 12 added West Virginia. And you were like, that school's nowhere near the rest of us. Even though, you would look at it and the drive to Morgantown wasn't really that bad. But, in your head, you're like, Missouri. In the SEC, Missouri.
When they first got there, they were really good.
Very good.
But then they've had several years where it's like, what's going on in Missouri?
Yeah. But I really believe in Missouri. I think that they are the perfect team. They are one of the teams that has just kept screwing up the SEC schedule for teams.
Yeah.
They're really a lot of fun. I do think that Alabama is hitting their stride.
They look every bit the part that we thought they were going to.
I think they've got a guy that's put himself in Heisman conversations at quarterback. I think DeBoer, has done one of the hardest jobs that you can do, which is no one in the country as a head coach has taken more shots from national media and from his own fan base than Kellen DeBoer.
Yeah.
I mean, just no-win situation. You got to be built with a certain amount of, like, self-belief to be Kellen DeBoer at Alabama.
Especially after the way it started this season.
Yeah.
And really last year, too. You know, you got fans that are like, if I win the Powerball, I'm buying out Kalen DeBoer's contract and we're hiring a new coach, you know.
As if he's the problem, you know.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough task out there in, you know, North Alabama. You know, I've got family out there. I lived there for a little bit when I was really young, barely remember it. They love their Crimson Tide football out there. But I'm going to give you a name. Ahmad Hardy. Mizzou's running back. 103 carries for 730 yards. He is averaging over 7 yards a carry this season. 9 touchdowns.
And
unreal.
His first cut when he gets the ball is so good.
He's special. He is special.
He's a lean up guy. When they hand him the ball, you just kind of lean up because if that first cut is where it's supposed to be, he can go 40 yards.
Yeah, it's almost like in that vein of like Saquon Barkley, Ashton Genty, type. Like, oh my God, like this is gonna be a fun. Like, there's not a lot of fun running backs really anymore. You know, because everything has gone so pass happy, so wide receiver focused in college football.
That's a great point because he is a good short yardage back as well.
Yeah, I mean he's a big guy. Like he's built. Like he's not. I mean he's not a power back by any means, but
he's
like
not a Reggie Bush where you're like, you know, get this guy out in space guy. He can run between the tackles.
Yeah. You don't have to put Lindell White in for short yardage situations here. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But yeah, I think he's going to have a really good game today. Obviously, this is going to be his toughest test so far. But you're right. Like Ty Simpson has looked really, really good this year.
That guy went from on no one's Heisman board to there are legitimately people this week that are saying Ty Simpson is the Heisman favorite out of the SEC right now.
Yeah, which I mean just speaks to, you know, kind of what the conversation we've been having for weeks now about the parity in college football right now is at an all-time high. Like Ty Simpson, this guy looks like a freaking Backstreet Boy.
Yeah.
And he's going out and like is in like leading the Heisman conversations right now with John Mateer. Like this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. But yeah, I think this one's going to be tough. Alabama is favored by 3.5. It's in Columbia, Missouri. 11 a.m. kickoff local time on ABC.
Underrated loud stadium.
Underrated loud stadium. Great college town. If you've never been to Columbia, Missouri, great college town. It's actually really pretty town. You know, they've got the pillar things that they are about. You know, my father-in-law, mother-in-law both are Mizzou graduates, so you know, like I've seen lots of Mizzou stuff around, you know, just by nature of like the family that I married into and stuff. But I don't know. I think this might be Mizzou's first loss of the game. I think I might be taking the Crimson Tide to win this one by like 1 or 2 points. I don't know what the score would be, but I think that Alabama might win this one on like a last-second field goal to go out on top to leave Columbia, Missouri, you know, with the W.
And I'm taking Missouri. I really like what Missouri's doing. I like the running back. I like their quarterback play.
Yeah.
I think their defense comes out and plays inspired today. I do think it's close. I'm going to take Missouri by a field goal. But I would not be shocked if going into halftime, Missouri's up by a touchdown. And then, you know, Alabama's got to, because that, you know, this is one of those games where, you know, Missouri's like the rest of the SEC. Yes, they love the SEC, but
they're different.
Yeah, the one thing all SEC teams can agree on is they hate Alabama. So that fan base is going to be pretty rowdy. So I'm taking Missouri by a field goal.
Yeah. And Bama's coming off of, you know, back-to-back games against Georgia and Vanderbilt.
And Alabama's schedule the rest of the year, they got to play Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma.
Eastern Illinois. Don't forget about that second to last week of the season. Tough matchup.
Stupid out of conference game in November. It really just, I guess if you need to like whatever
just catch a breath.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then they got the Iron Bowl at the end of the year, which could be really interesting. And by that, I mean, I think Alabama wins that game by 30. But
do you not like Jackson Arnold?
I've been right about Jackson Arnold from the first time I saw him play a series at Oklahoma, where I go, this isn't the guy.
This guy is not.
This isn't the guy. And and he looks great in a pair of pads and shorts in spring, and he'll make throws in practice that you go, my God. And then that guy disappears, and another Jackson Arnold runs out of the tunnel on game day.
Yep.
So, no, I don't believe him. Indiana at number 3, Oregon. I am never going to pick Indiana because I cannot stand their coach that much.
Google me.
He's weird. He's corny. He makes me uncomfortable to look at.
He's so arrogant, dude. He is like the least likable coach. Like, I probably like Sharon more than I like Kurt Signetti, which is saying something.
Listen, he has the most punchable face in college football.
It's awful. I don't know if Indiana fans even like him. Maybe they do because it's kind of giving them that bad boy feel. But at the same time, it's like,
he's made me like Lane Kiffin.
I don't know if any coach can make me do that, but
I mean, Lane Kiffin, at least I get that it's a bit. Like, I get that it's a bit. I understand it.
Yeah.
I think Signetti believes that he is one of the best coaches in college football. I think he genuinely believes that.
That is crazy. I think you're right, which is what is making me laugh because it's like, oh my God.
I think he really thinks, no, I am one of the best coaches, and I'm, so I'm taking Oregon in this one, and I think it's probably closer than I want it to be, but I'm taking Oregon by a touchdown.
Yeah, they're favored by 7.5. So, yeah, I think this game is. This is a chance for Oregon and Dan Lanning to be like, all right, it's time for you guys to respect us. And I will always have a soft spot for my boy Dan Lanning. We walked the same hallowed halls in, the Union at William Jewell College, Jewell Hall, the White Science Center. Like, we've walked in those same halls. We've been in the same locker room. We both played football for William Jewell College. So I'll always have a soft spot for my boy Dan Lanning. And I think this is it. He looks like he's on something different this season. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's popping like 20 Zens before a football game.
Could be.
Or the equivalent of that with something else. Not going to say the name of it on here, but I don't want to speculate or anything. But he looks crazed this season. Dan Lanning is on a mission. That loss in the Rose Bowl last year left the worst taste possible in his mouth. So I think he is out for blood. He's out for vengeance in this season. And so, I think that win over Penn State gave Oregon all the confidence they need. And I'm actually going to take, I see my dad down in the comments. He's taking Oregon by 17. I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
I really do think that's probably an accurate take. So I'm going to take Oregon by 2.5, 3 scores in this one.
All right. Biggest game of the day for sure. Has turned into this is so flip-flopped how this season was supposed to go. This should have been the number 16 in the country, in Oklahoma unranked.
Yeah, preseason number 1.
Yeah. So obviously I'm wearing my OU gear today. I will be sitting in my red chair right here for the entirety of the day, but this is the game that I have got circled.
The spread has gone back to Texas now.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what everyone sees.
It was I'll tell you what it probably was. It was probably the John Mateer news coming out. All of that money started going to Oklahoma, and then people were probably thinking to themselves, "Oh, I could get Texas for plus 2.5, plus 1. I'm going to take that." And then there was more money going towards Texas in this one, and that's probably what the spread kind of influenced that, but I'm not sure. That is weird.
Your dad's got Oklahoma by 14. I like that. I don't know if it'll be by that much, but I like that.
He's seen Oklahoma in person this year when he went to that Oklahoma-Michigan game. He's seen that defense in person, so I think he's got a good idea of what they're going to be able to do to Arch Manning today.
Obviously, my wife, we are Boomer Sooner all day in this house. I'm taking Oklahoma. I'm picking them by 10, but I don't know. Here's the mystery to me. I've never seen John Mateer on a stage like this. No, the nation has never seen John Mateer on this type of stage.
Yeah.
The Michigan game was very different. That's at home, really beginning of the year. He might come out, and because he's the guy that of the quarterbacks on the field has played the most college football.
Yeah.
He has, he just come off of a hand surgery. He plays with a lot of passion and a lot of chip. And if you're the offensive line today, here's what I need from you. I need you to protect your quarterback because this is a rivalry game and you got a guy with a hurt hand if he plays. If you think that there hasn't been conversations in the defensive rooms at Texas this week of, hey, that guy's got a hurt hand. Remember that when you go to
1,000%.
He could take a shot to the hand and not be the same, and you got to run a backup in. So if you're the offensive line, protect your quarterback. And number two, I need them to play inspired football in the trenches so that the running game can get established with someone other than John Mateer. If John Mateer has to run the football a lot in this game, I don't want him to come out hurt because there's a lot of, as big as this game is for Oklahoma, they've got a lot more. They got a lot more games that mean something for college football playoff contention.
Yeah, I agree.
In fact, outside of South Carolina, they don't play an unranked team the rest of the year.
Yeah, and South Carolina could again. I mean, they're one of those teams that gets votes every week.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm taking Oklahoma by 10.
I like it. We kind of talked about this, as I mentioned towards the top of the show here. If you haven't watched our Red River rivalry video, go check that out once we wrap up here in about 15 or 20 minutes. We talked about Oklahoma can afford to lose this game. Texas cannot.
Right.
This game means way more for Texas, means way more for Steve Sarkisian's future, means way more for Arch Manning as his development and kind of how he's viewed around the country. But that being said, when you get to these rivalry games, and the thing about this game, I don't like that it's played at the Cotton Bowl. I don't like that. I like rivalry games to be played at home, where there's a little bit of a home field type thing. It looks awesome from that flyover. Probably one of my favorite pictures every single year in college football. Just the picture where it's divided at the 50. You've got burnt orange on one side. You've got crimson on the other side. It's it's a beautiful photo. But in games like this, I'm taking coaching and defense. And Oklahoma has the better head coach, and Oklahoma has the better defense. And so I'm going to be taking the Sooners in this one as well. And I'm probably going to take them by 13.
Wow.
I think they're going to handle business. I think it's going to be really tough for Texas's offense to get going in this football game. So yeah, give me the Sooners by 13 points.
All right, number 21, Arizona State at Utah. This is an interesting matchup coming into the season. I picked Arizona State as the best team in the Big 12. Boy, I was wrong.
What's going on in the Big 12? We didn't talk about them at all today. Maybe the most fun conference to watch right now because we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
week in and week out.
Tech's really good. TCU's really good.
BYU,
Utah. I mean, they've got a lot of teams in that conference that are playing very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona is 21. Utah's unranked. Utah's favored by 9.5 points in this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a statement game. If you're Arizona State, you really need this game badly because the Big 12, is not going to get a bunch of teams into the college football playoff. It's a conference that's kind of beaten up on itself a lot. Arizona State needs this really, really badly. But Utah is very well coached.
Yeah.
They play really good football. They're a lot of fun. And people when we talk about underrated atmospheres, Utah and BYU's home atmospheres are both really good.
Those Mormons like their football.
Yeah, and they got the lights on the field, on the mountain. I mean, it's a really cool place. I like it, but I like Arizona State. I think that they have really done not a traditional football powerhouse, Arizona State. Great party school. Always on the top 10 list of party schools.
Yeah, they let anyone who applies in.
Yeah, they don't care. Come on in. And I'm with your dad. I am taking Utah in this one in the upset. I don't feel really good about it, but I'm just looking at the Big 12 as a whole. This is every time we've had a game where it's like, okay, this is the best team in the Big 12. It's been upset city all over the place in the Big 12. So I'm taking Utah in a close one. I'm taking them by a field goal.
Good pick. Not so fast, my friend. Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson is one of the best quarterback wide receiver combos in the entire country.
Yep.
Jordan Tyson, I mean, you take Ohio State's wide receiver room out of the conversation. Jordan Tyson's probably the best wide receiver in the country.
Yeah.
He's awesome. You just throw it in his direction, he's probably going to catch it. And Sam Leavitt's got a little bit of that, like, John Mateer dog in him. Like, he can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He can take care of business. He's a great leader. And I do like Arizona State's head coach. I think he's a football guy. I think that they've got a lot of, juice behind them. But at the same time, man, Utah is playing some really good football this year. I think Utah is going to need to take care of the ball a little bit better in this one. But I think that this is going to be a statement win for Arizona State to kind of get back in the conversation for that Big 12 championship game. So I'm going to take Arizona State to win this one by 1. 1 point win for Arizona State.
Number 18, BYU at Arizona. That's just Arizona State's playing Utah and BYU's playing Arizona.
Wow.
There you go. Again, Big 12 makes no sense. I have no clue. I would love to see the game. I cannot. Has the Utah BYU game happened yet?
I don't think so. I feel like that's like a last game of the season type of thing. Let me look at BYU's schedule.
That game's going to be a ton of fun.
They play next week.
Okay. So
2 p.m. on Fox.
That kind of brings a little bit of clarity to what if you're BYU right now, what you got to be worried about is the look ahead.
Yeah.
Because you got your rivalry game coming next week. Some teams handle this situation really well. Some teams do not. Oklahoma, my team has had years where we were looking ahead to Bedlam or we were looking ahead to Texas, and you get yourself in a dog fight in the third quarter, and everybody's got to do that. Okay, what are we doing here? Type of thing. But I don't see any way Arizona can keep this close necessarily. I like BYU, but I also like 4 other teams in the Big 12.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
That's the thing too. Like, if you're in the Big 12, like, can you really afford to look ahead?
No, because you're not going to get a lot of teams in the college football playoff anyway. So whoever comes out of there is going to be,
yeah.
You're probably not going to get a whole lot of respect anyway because you're probably going to have a couple of losses. But I'm taking BYU here by 14. Now, if this was, I will say this would be one of the better college basketball games in the regular season because these are 2 really good college basketball schools.
Very true.
But I'm taking BYU.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one to watch. I think, like I said, Big 12 has just been a different animal to watch this season. It's been. I'm not saying that it's the best football that we're watching on TV. It's just the most exciting football that we're watching on TV. I think that those 2 things are different, and I think that it is true. A rare Saturday night game for BYU.
And Arizona State and Utah. So if you have YouTube TV like I do, you can have 2 teams from you can watch 2 games and only 2 states are represented.
Well, that Arizona State game, Utah game is a 9:15 Central Time kickoff. My God, what are we doing? You can't have that kind of matchup take place when half the country is asleep. That's a conversation for a different time. Write that down, by the way. Maybe we should talk about that this week. But yeah, I think BYU walks away with this one pretty handily. I'm not convinced by Arizona. They have been playing better football this year than they've played in a while, but I'm not entirely convinced by Arizona. And I think BYU, dude, their quarterback, if he changes his number, I'll like him. But until he keeps wearing that, what's he wearing, 47?
Yeah,
it's the worst QB number I've ever seen. It's worse than Devin Gardner when he wore 99 at Michigan. Gross.
Those feel like walk-on numbers.
Yeah. And this kid can ball. Like, he is a baller. So, yeah, give me BYU. They win this one handily.
All right, last game on our slate of games to pick. A game that with two head coaches that need wins.
Yep.
They both
convincing win.
They're like a lot of teams in the Big Ten right now because the bottom end of the Big Ten is not good. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And the way the Big Ten schedules, you got to look at your board when the schedule's released if you're a head coach and go, I got to win this game. I got to win this game. I got to win this game. USC, although they're playing really good offensive football, they look like a Lincoln Riley team. And Michigan, I'm still not sure who Michigan is as a football team.
Yeah.
Your dad brought up a great point in the show. Michigan played better, more inspired football the two games that Sharon Moore was not coaching.
Says exactly what it needs to be said there, I think.
They had a dude in a cut-off dry fit T-shirt coaching.
Yeah.
And they played more inspired football. Obviously, your dad's picking Michigan by 4. I think that's probably where this game ends up. My question, is going to be, is this the game where if Michigan can keep this lower scoring and keep it ugly, I think they can win this game pretty easily. But if Moore gets sucked into what a lot of teams that have played Lincoln Riley-led teams get sucked into, which is the, we got to score game, you can't win that game against USC. If they try to turn this into a shootout, they're going to get beat.
Yeah, especially now. USC is number 2 total offense in the country and the number 3 scoring offense in the country. They're averaging 48.4 points a game, and they're averaging 565 yards of total offense per game. That's a lot. But if there's a defense out there that's going to be able to slow it down, it's probably going to be Michigan. Yeah, but the question is can Michigan's offense keep up with, because USC is going to score. They're going to get theirs. Can USC's offense keep up? Can Justice Haynes continue to be the bell cow for that Michigan offense? Can Bryce Underwood actually prove that he is a $20 million quarterback or whatever it was that Dave Portnoy forked over to get him to Michigan? How much can he affect the outcome of this game? So it's going to be an interesting one.
And you're not going to be able to protect him if you're the offensive coordinator today. You're going to have to put him in positions where he's going to have to make big boy D1 college quarterback throws.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about it. He barely broke 1,000 yards, and he's only thrown 3 touchdown passes to 1 interception this entire season.
Yeah,
and he really hasn't been that much more effective on the ground. I'm looking at his rushing stats right now. I mean, he had 114 against Central Michigan, but since then has had 61 yards on the ground on 8 carries, and then last week against Wisconsin, he only had 12 yards on 5 carries. So he 2.4 yards there. So I've got a lot of questions about Bryce Underwood. Again, he's so young. He's so young. It's going to take him, some time to get used to it. But I think this is a chance. This is a game where he's going to be able to say, "Hey, I'm out here. I'm doing this." And USC, they can't fall into the trap. I saw my dad here down here in the comments. OSU couldn't score against that Michigan defense last year. Yeah, I think the issue is for some reason offenses fall into doing exactly what Michigan is really good against. Yeah, and USC can't do that. They can't change the way that they play their football. They need to go out there and do the way that they play football. It's a passing attack. USC third in the country in passing yards per game with 338 yards a game through the air. So, don't try to say you're tough. Don't try to do, what you think you need to do to prove a point in this game. The point you can prove is by going out and winning the football game. That's the only point that you need to prove.
And to your dad's point, that's what Ryan Day fell into last year.
We talked about this ad nauseum. After 10 days went by, and I finally texted him again after that game last year. Took a minute for me to text my dad back.
I can't watch that game going, when is Ryan Day going to coach football? What are we doing?
Oh, dude, I was at a watch party with the Kansas City, Ohio State alumni. The things that we were saying, it was bad. It was the worst. It was the worst situation that Ohio State has been in over a decade, and it was crazy. And so USC cannot fall into that trap.
And I don't think that they will. I don't think
so. Lincoln Riley is not the kind of coach that's like, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to run it down the A gap and the B gap all game long. When has Lincoln Riley ever done that? Never.
No, and he's got he's got 4 running backs in the NFL that he coached who they got to the NFL. People are like, hey, they're really good. It's like, yeah, very limited touches under Lincoln Riley offense.
So USC just needs to stick to what they do best, and I think that they could take care of business in the games. They're currently 2.5 point favorites. USC is. Again, they're getting a little bit of that home field bump. Sometimes it's 3 points, sometimes it's 1.5 points, but you always get a bump for being the home team. And the total is 56.5 right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Michigan, I would script the first 15 plays and get Underwood comfortable. I'd put him in a 2-minute style, no huddle for the first series. If you win the coin flip, take the ball and get your guy comfortable. Let him get some of those jitters out. Don't make him sit on the sidelines for an entire defensive series and think about what he's about to have to do. Get him on the field, get him comfortable quick, bubble screens, short passes, intermediate routes, march down the field, prove that you can score.
Yeah.
Because USC is going to come on the field and score. They just are. That's just what they're going to do. But they're not going to play defense. You're going to get opportunities. Now, really what Michigan has got to do is come up with a couple of plays, whether it's with the defense or special teams, to just take a couple of possessions away from USC.
Yeah, it's sustained drives. I think you're right there. Do your best to keep Michigan off the field, but which is going to be tough for USC because they're a pretty quick strike offense. That's just kind of how Lincoln Riley does things. He wants to score 50 points a game if he could,
and it can screw you up. I mean, we lost.
It really can.
We lost the game in the college football playoff just because Baker Mayfield's standing on the sidelines because we were scoring too fast. That sounds crazy. People are like, "Oh, you're just being sensitive." No, legitimately, we're scoring too fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, USC is 51st in the country in total defense. Giving up 398.7 a game. I think 359 yards a game. Their last 3, they gave up 398, and I think last week they gave up 502, which is probably what's messing with that average a little bit. So I don't think USC's defense is bad, but USC's defense is not as good as Oklahoma's defense by any stretch of the imagination, and Michigan's offense was able to handle that defense for the most part. They were able to score. And so I would assume that Michigan's going to be able to score some more points in this game.
I'm taking Michigan by 7 in this one, but the point total could be 80. I have no clue.
I don't see Michigan scoring that many points, even as bad as USC's defense can play. But if they did, I'm going to start sweating a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Wolverines in this one, too. I think they win by 2 scores, 10 points, 13 points, 14 points, somewhere in that range. Give me the Wolverines in this one. And I think Bryce Underwood kind of quiets down some of the criticisms a little bit. And he actually looks like a D1 college quarterback.
Yeah, and if Moore doesn't have a great coaching out, and there's some weird time management, clock management things, there's some weird calls on fourth downs, weird calls on third and shorts. Michigan is a brand and is a school where if that job comes open, there's a lot of coaches that'll move for that job.
That job, Sharon Moore is 2-0 against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
At that school, that buys you some time.
That does buy you a lot of time here. But this year, if that changes and he looks the way he's looked so far this season, then I think, if they lose the game at the end of the season, which, as we approach that game, you guys, every year I think Ohio State's going to win that game, but I truly do believe that this season just because of how freaking good Ohio State's defense is this year. That could be their chance to move off of him and go grab someone else that's like a major name in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good offensive coordinators. I don't want to start naming guys because then that's bad juju. I don't like giving guys jobs before their season's over. But it's a really good. SMU's got a really good, solid. The offensive coordinator. Missouri's got a great offensive coordinator. I mean, there's some schools that have got some guys, and there's some guys that are probably in some jobs right now that they wouldn't mind making the move.
You'd get paid a lot.
Yeah, you're getting paid so. I mean, the salary would be wild.
Yeah, it would be an insane number, and it would need to be a big splash too. I think too to kind of get some of like the yuck away from the whole Harbaugh, Connor Stallions thing. Like, what are you talking about? We got a new head coach that's like a really good head coach. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so get it all out of the building. So,
but that's really getting ahead of ourselves here. I think Michigan needs to make sure that they go out and handle business today against the Trojans.
No, 100%. All right. If you haven't yet, make sure that you like and subscribe to us here on the Waterboys YouTube, or if you're watching us on X, we do appreciate you very, very much. We will be live next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central, but we will have content that drops this week. We'll probably be recapping the Red River rivalry, plus looking forward to some of the games that are coming next week. And if you are watching games today, we feel really bad for you with the super late kickoffs for BYU at Arizona State at Utah. And it does feel weird that Oklahoma, Texas kicks off at 1:30 today. That's been an 11 a.m. kickoff since the dawn of humanity. But we've moved that. Thanks, ESPN. Not excited about that. A lot of big games today. I'll be plugged in watching them. If you're here on X watching this, I'll probably be live tweeting my life away during the Oklahoma Texas game. So if you see some unhinged tweets that come out, that means
it wasn't me.
That's probably me.
I stay off the Waterboys Twitter during the Buckeyes games because I don't want to make everybody think that some insane person runs the account.
I'll make sure to put Aaron said at the beginning of every tweet because I'll be losing my mind. And we will have next week, I think we've got a celebrity guest picker that's going to be coming in. And I think Travis Duke, depending on how this game goes, maybe doing some stuff for this next week.
Well. Travis Duke, Texas Longhorns pitching legend.
Yep, second most
member of the Washed Up Sports Network.
Yeah,
has guest on the Waterboys show a couple times. So he's great. He's a great guy.
In town, but we both gave each other the good luck today text last night.
Love you now, hate you later, love you after. That's the kind.
Even said, just so you know, this is the only nice text you're going to get from me in the next 48 hours. So.
Oh, dude, yeah, you like game week, the game week in the Strez household. That's how it is the entire week.
My best friend growing up was a Texas fan. My best friend in high school and college was a Texas fan, and I didn't talk to him. Why? What would be the point of talking to him from Thursday?
You lose a whole friendship.
Yeah, I remember. I think one time in high school, he was like, "Why don't you come over to my house and watch the game?" I was like, "Probably not."
Not pass. This game always happens. Like the Ohio State Michigan game happens the weekend of Thanksgiving.
That makes it
for
tough.
Most years. And so I'm like, I'm bouncing. I'm going back to Kansas City. I cannot be in the same house. Like there have been times where, like, I remember one year, Denard Robinson was still quarterback at Michigan, and we had to go do something for some reason, and my dad and I parked. We were at Walmart, and they had the game on their TVs. My dad and I grabbed lawn chairs and parked ourselves in the lane to watch the ending Ohio State Michigan game. It was crazy, but I mean, there have been times, every year we try to take a picture together, post it that day, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year because I'm tired of losing. 4 years and there's too many.
I get it. On your way out, make sure that you download Better. Download the Better app. Use code WASH and get $10 and up to a $200 bonus on your first deposit. Use code WASHED and download Better. All right. Happy College Football Day. Happy Rivalry Week Day. A lot of things happening. Big stretch of college football. What are we, day 47 of the 49 straight days of football?
I think so. I think that started Thursday. No, it started Wednesday.
Yeah, so 46 days.
Yeah,
rate of football.
Yeah, I think the first day without football on TV is going to be the Tuesday after Thanksgiving weekend.
So you can't breathe until the Tuesday after Thanksgiving weekend, guys.
Isn't it great?
So
and right now, I mean, we've got NBA starting soon. Postseason baseball. Hockey's already going. Football's happening. This is like the sports equinox now.
I got Red River game today, and my Cubs are playing in an elimination winner go home game.
Yeah, speaking of, I should have turned that game on last night. 15 innings.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Wild postseason baseball. So great time to be a sports fan. Make sure that you're following us here on Waterboys, and go follow Washed Up Sports Network, our main page on YouTube. And we'll be getting much stuff reworked and some things happening over there as well. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, and we will see you next weekend.
Go Bucks. God bless Bo Nix.
Yeah, God bless Bo Nix.